He's a EuroLeague scoring champ, Israeli League winner, Adriatic League winner, multiple Final Four MVP, and probably the most deadliest left-handed scorer outside the NBA. Keith Langford, how you doing?
I'm doing well, man. How about yourself?
I'm good. Thanks for coming on. Before we're going to get into basketball, how excited are you to get away from that snowy weather and come to Israel?
Actually, you know what? I enjoy the cold, so it's not so bad. But nah, to be honest with you, man, I'm looking forward to walking on the beach with my shirt off. You know
hmm
what I mean? And get some sun. So, but I'm looking forward to it definitely.
hmm All right, diving right into basketball. Keith, you played for Maccabi. You won with them multiple titles. You know the winning spirits of the organization, the tradition that they have. How surprised or how weird is it for you to see them in the EuroCup?
It's interesting. I was actually watching video, watching film. Um, I'm sitting there and I'm looking, and we're supposed to be looking at scouting information, and the first thing that for 30 seconds I'm sitting there and I'm looking at the EuroCup logo on the floor, and it was a bit strange to be honest, but that's the rules of the game, man. It can bring you up and it can bring you down, so you have to play against who you have to play against. So I'm sure it doesn't make Maccabi any less dangerous, but it was definitely interesting seeing the EuroCup logo on the floor.
hmm You were on one of the better Maccabi teams with Guy Gudas. He's been sacked earlier in the season. Have you at all spoke to him, or were you surprised by the move?
I haven't spoken to him obviously because I'm one of the guys that I don't want to reach out when something bad happens. I think that's more so time, personal time, and times for family and things like that. So, but as far as being surprised, I'd be lying if I said I was. Just because I know the kind of atmosphere and the pressure, to win and be successful, and when you don't do that, you pretty much force the hands of the powers that be.
Well, you've mentioned scouting and coming into play Maccabi. It's really you're going head to head battle for the number one seed in this group. You saw them. What are the weak spots? What are the buttons you want to press?
Keno and I have been really aggressive, and we've attacked, and our attack has pretty much been from the inside out, and we want to just put a lot of pressure on their guards, and make them play defensively, and then our team has done a real good job defensively.
You and Keno are a real lethal backcourt. He's just one coming off an MVP week in the Euro Cup. And Maccabi are without Gal Mecca. They let Farmar go. A, are you surprised with that? And B, Gal Mecca is out. Are they in kind of a, I say, disadvantage?
The surprise with Jordan leaving is, it's a surprise just because I don't think anyone really knows the true story. Obviously, I think that maybe Maccabi was wanting the same performance he had when he first came after the lockout.
You subbed for him after the lockout.
I did. I mean, actually, I was there, and he's part of the reason why I wasn't playing in the beginning, actually. so, but he was playing incredible. Just to be honest, and sitting there, it was pretty much all right. I'll wait, and when he's gone, I'll be ready. Which is understandable, and I can see why Maccabi brought him back. As opposed to even having discussions with me, during the summer, just because his performance during that time was that good. But as far as them not being with Gal Mecca, hey man, it's tough to play in Nokia, regardless of who's on the roster or what's going on. And I guarantee you, if we were missing one of our guys, they wouldn't take it any easier on us. So
hmm
whatever advantage or disadvantage that brings, we're going to play through it and attack it, and we'll be ready because they'll be ready.
hmm Keith, the last time, I know this brings back, some tough memories, but the last time you played at Nokia Arena was 2014. You really went bananas, but that season ended with Maccabi winning the EuroLeague title. Do you see
Definitely.
them as one of the favorites of going all the way in the EuroCup? Because there are teams like Munich, Milan, Kazan, Valencia. I mean, there's some big dogs.
Right, right, absolutely. And I mean, Valencia is probably the most one of the most dangerous teams in Europe, regardless of league or EuroCup, EuroLeague, whatever it may be. Maccabi's obviously the favorite. I mean, regardless of whether people think that the roster is better or worse or whatever moves they're making, the name always brings expectations. And I think that when they step on the floor, most of the time, even having been in that uniform before, I know most of the time you're spotted 7 to 10 points in the first quarter anyway, depending on what arena you're in. So, and as far as me playing that last time, yeah, definitely some bitter memories. And but if there was one team that I could be happy for, due to my experience and things like that, it would be those guys, because of the way they treated me and my experiences there. But this time, I really don't plan on coming out of there with that same feeling. I really don't. I kind of feel like I let the opportunity slip through my fingers, and basketball gods have given me a second chance, and I want to take advantage of it.
All right, last question, Keith, before I let you go. I think it was roughly a year ago that I reported that you turned down an offer from the Philadelphia 76ers in the NBA. And, your longtime guy, David Blatt, you played for him. A lot of chips on him going back to the NBA Finals. Hypothetically speaking, if he picks up the phone and makes you an offer to go to the NBA, would you consider?
I'd be a fool not to consider, to be honest. But the thing with that is, the NBA is. I've just reached a point in my career, David, where I am. I I like being the player that I am with the role that I have on whatever team I'm on, and I just, there's no disrespect to the last 4 or 5 guys on the bench, but I'm not sure. I'm willing to be that guy. I'm not sure that at this point in my career that would suffice enough. And I understand that guys have to prove themselves and things like that. But being obviously father time defeats all, and being 32, it's you talk about however many high level years you have. There's more years behind than there are ahead. However long I plan on continuing to play. So that being said, I taking that in consideration, I wouldn't waste that time. So David peeled the phone. It'd definitely be a conversation. Maybe I could go in there and steal some of J.R. Smith's or Shumper's minutes, but I don't see that happening. So I definitely I'm happy and satisfied where I am and what I'm doing.
Hey, Keith, we really appreciate you coming on. I'll see you real soon. Best of luck in the game against Maccabi. Hope you put on a show.
All right, thanks a lot, man. I appreciate it.
Thanks. Take care.